Chat GPT is coming up next. I'm also the CEO and founder of Dolcera, and I'm going to talk to you today about how Chat GPT can be used for the IP departments. You already have all tried it, you know what it is about. I'm going to go a little bit deeper, share some use cases, share some lessons, and try to entertain you a little bit as well. I'll start with a very brief introduction to our company, then go into the use cases, and then I'll show you a demo of our tool that we are building on top of Chat GPT as well. So company is called Dolcera. We've been in business for 20 years. We build IP tools and we provide IP services. We are located in US, Germany, India, and China. We have a team of 150 subject matter experts working in various areas of science and technology. We work with 6 of the world's 10 largest companies, 30 of the world's 100 largest companies, and we provide them with our patent search engine, or PCS patent search engine, which I'll talk about briefly. And then we also track cellular standards, we track multimedia standards, and we provide a variety of other world-class information tools and services. So this is our PCS search engine platform. The reason I mention it is because we've been building it with using machine learning for over 10 years now. It has 150 million patents and lots of concepts, technology concepts baked into it. This is all being built by our team over time, and it's used by some of the world's largest companies already. So now jumping into the meat of Chat GPT used for IP. Why are we excited about this? Well, the reason is that, as you can see here, we started with a model called BERT Large about 4 years ago, and this whole space of large language models has grown tremendously. The growth has been basically, as you can see, we are on a log scale. The technology between what we are using today, GPT-4, and where BERT Large was, we are about 3,000 times bigger. It's more than 3 orders of magnitude improvement in this technology in just over 4 years. So that's why Chat GPT is a big deal, and I'm sure you all know about that. So when we look at IP lifecycle, when we start with harvesting inventions, then preparing patent applications, commercialization, protection, and all the way to management of IP, Chat GPT is going to impact, it's already impacting each and every one of these functions. So it's really, really important. And we'll see how. So our team of 150 experts, we have set them up to test out Chat GPT to understand its strengths, its limitations, and to try it out for a variety of use cases. So I'm sharing some of the use cases now. Looking at IP generation first. So what is a patent draft? It includes title, abstract claims, background of the invention, drawings, embodiments, and other elements. So we asked ChatGPT to draft an independent claim for an invention, which many of you I'm sure already have. So we said, my invention is a steering wheel that lights up when my grip loosens. ChatGPT comes up with some pretty good suggestions and comes up with a fairly decent claim, right? And it thinks through things that you haven't thought of, like threshold and so on, or doing the job of a good patent attorney. It's filling up things that we haven't totally figured out yet. Then we asked it for background for the invention, and it provides a pretty decent background. It says, oh, this can be used by somebody who has health issues, not just by anybody who is just trying to drive the car or whatever. So then we asked it for a block diagram. It gives us a block diagram. And it explains the block diagram and gives us a lot of details, like you can use FPGAs and microcontrollers, and it provides lots of these details that any good patent attorney would do. Remember, we are only given a 1-line input. If you give a longer input, it'll take the longer input into consideration and incorporate that into your patent application. We ask it for a description, it provides description. We ask it for embodiments, it'll provide you embodiments. The works. We can ask it to generate flowcharts, and it'll provide you with fairly decent flowcharts, right? And this flowcharting capability keeps improving very, very rapidly as well. So you can get it to do flowcharts, you can get it to do other types of diagrams. You can pretty much get it to do most of the activities that you need for drafting a claim. We compared one of the claims drafted by ChatGPT with a claim, with a granted claim, and it looks fairly comparable. I won't go into the details because, time. So then we tried it for IP landscaping, And what is landscaping? You start with a patent search, then you go into technology categories, you create a taxonomy, you organize patents into taxonomy, you identify insights from that. So we asked it to, we said, help me understand bitterness reduction in cocoa powder. So provide a list of patents about cocoa debittering, and it comes up with a pretty decent list. And then we said, give me some articles. So we get articles, titles, brief summary of article, authors, etc. Really cool. Except that none of these exist. These articles and patents do not exist. It makes stuff up. It's hallucinating. We've heard about it, but to see it with our own examples is always fun. It's also very dangerous. So this is something you need to tell your teams, your IP teams, but also your inventors, right? This is a problem. Okay. Then we asked it to generate a taxonomy. We said, can you explain the commercial methods to reduce bitterness in cocoa? And it comes up with a pretty good list, right? Alkalization, blending, fermentation, etc. Then we ask it to give some subcategories of the whole Dutch processing or alkalization process, and it gives a pretty good set of subcategories. We asked our experts to look into this, and they compared, and they came back to tell us that this is very good. This task of taxonomy generation is handled quite competently by the bot, right? And we have tested it across many different technology categories and does pretty well across all those categories. So you can see that here, we created a whole taxonomy here. Then we asked it to categorize these patents into the taxonomy, and we gave it title abstract claims and gave it a list of categories, a list of subcategories, and it did a very competent job as well. About 70 to 80% as good as your subject matter experts would. So very good. So at this point, if you look at patent drafting, this is something you should consider Chat GPT for. Patent classification as well. Prior art search, stay away, be very careful. We've been using Chat GPT, testing it for a wide range of other use cases, like responding to office actions, doing standard essential patent mapping, claim charting, and so on. There is a lot of areas that we have been applying it to. So what I'm going to show you is how we are using it now. So outside at our booth, at our table, you can see a demo of this this patent drafting platform that we have built using Chat GPT that we have available now for you. We gave it a patent description, a very brief patent input, and it generated the full patent application out of it. We can provide it, different types of specifications. You can say, this is my writing style, this is how I like my claims. You can provide it to your company's style guide, and it will adhere to all of those types of requirements. So you can see a demo outside if you have a few minutes. Here, as you can see, we are saying, okay, I want a slightly longer abstract. It'll comply with that, right? So all of these types of things are possible. All of these things are available today for you to try it out and use. Okay. Okay, so you can sign up for this at tinyurl.com/Dolcera AI. It's $199 a month, super early bird special. We are also using it for like a new look IP department. So when you think about it, so about half of you do prep and process in-house. The other half does not. But you do a lot of strategy. You do a lot of claim charts. You do deterrence strategy. You do foreign filing strategy. We are building another platform where you can incorporate all of that information, your products, patents, your competitors' patents, everything in one place, and then use Chat GPT to formulate strategy and answer any kind of questions as well. So it's a really powerful platform, and you can reach out to us at info@dolcera.com if you need a demo. And I will leave out, these are some of the questions that come up all the time, like what about public disclosure, export control, data security, etc., etc. We have these answers here, but I don't have time to go over that because seeing 0 minutes left. But if you have a quick question or two, I can probably answer it. Otherwise, you'll have to ask the chatbot who follows me. Questions? Yes?
I know that you're not going to go into it, but I'm just wondering, I never put in confidential information into Chat GPT.
Yeah.
That would include, invention disclosures. So how?
Yeah, so Chat GPT comes in various flavors, and the number of flavors seems to be growing every day. Today there's a new flavor that they announced. So the flavor of Chat GPT that's available for public consumption, they might use your data, etc. The API, they do not use the data, they keep it confidential, they save it only for 30 days and only very limited access. So we've gone through the fine print, they're making lots of commitments for confidentiality. So if you use cloud tools like Office 365, if you use Google Sheets or whatever, then this is pretty similar terms and conditions. But now, both Microsoft and OpenAI are offering a private, completely private, walled version of Chat GPT as well. So, if you pay 10x more, you will get that version. And 10x is not that expensive in the larger scheme of things. So yes, and if you go just a year out, I have a version of a large language model that runs inside my web browser that's generating claims. So you don't even have to install anything, or just you'll run it in your browser on your computer. Doesn't go anywhere. So the technology, as you see, Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, says trust the exponential, and that's pretty much what I would also suggest. Okay, go ahead, please.
Yeah, can you maybe provide some insight on what's actually happening at the back end of the agent? So, as you type in these queries, and then you generate like the stuff you mentioned about claims, descriptions.
I think.
Can I finish my question?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, because I guess you may be linking the different languages together, because whatever you generate, how the attorney will have to review it. And even though it looks nice, I'm just thinking, are you just kind of linking different texts and?
No, not at all. So it's a very good question. I get it all the time. Is it plagiarizing, right? Is it just snipping things together from multiple sources? At one level it is, but at a meta level, if you think about it, it has trillion parameters in its neural network, right? So it is really good at sounding very, very original. So when you actually check the content generated by Chat GPT and you compare it against any plagiarism checker or anything like that, it is not plagiarizing anything. It is generating new content, new text. That's what it's optimized for. You can say, oh, write this claim in the form of a Shakespearean sonnet, and it will give you that, right? So it is not like snipping things together. It is actually generating new content for you based on your inputs. It's learning your style. It's much more sophisticated than just copy and paste of any sort.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to make sense of it, because.
Yeah, we can talk about it offline. I can tell you my understanding of how these large language models work, but I'm not an AI scientist by any stretch. So.
Okay, but maybe I can just clarify. So I think there's the static and the dynamic processing.
Right.
So how much of that is actually happening? So it's not just because
it's fully dynamic. It's very slow actually. It's fully dynamic. It's very slow. There's no static content. It doesn't have anything in its memory. It's just generating everything one word at a time. But we can talk about it outside.
Thank you, Samir.
Thank you.